Hello, everybody, and welcome to the LinkedIn Live, the founder spotlight today. We're honored to have Ishneet Kaur with us as a guest, a powerhouse in e-commerce marketing strategy. Ishneet is the founder of Elevate Excellence and is a highly experienced leader who successfully headed and established and scaled up e-commerce units of the Fortune 500 companies, including Johnson& and Johnson's and Lenovo across India, the MENA region, and Southeast Asia. With a strong background in e-commerce, Ishneet excels in launching e-commerce across D2C and marketplaces, enabling digital transformation and developing the company brand with a focus on sustainable growth. Ishneet supports brands by providing e-commerce consulting and training where she leverages her skill sets to set them up for hypergrowth. She's also one of the LinkedIn top voices. Welcome, Ishneet, to our Founder Spotlight.
Thank you so much, Karuna, for having me here, for the kind introduction. I'd also like to take a moment to congratulate you guys on the amazing series that you are doing. I think it's beautiful to see the
Thank
journey
you.
of different entrepreneurs.
Thank you. Thank you, Ishneet, so much. That means so much coming from you. So, Ashneet, let's begin with all of the questions that we have for you. Of course, I'm sure that our viewers want to know more of your journey and how is it that you have uh, created this entire image, your pivotal moments. So, basically, I'm trying to ask you here is what are the pivotal moments that shaped your journey as an entrepreneur, and how have these experiences influenced your approach towards growth of the business and towards sustainability of the business?
Thank you for asking that question, Karuna. I think it's crucial because this also sets the tone for the journey. I think once I stepped out of corporate, I've worked in corporate for a long time. Once I stepped out of that, one thing which shaped my approach would be networking. What I realized when you're in the corporate, you're in a bubble. You network inside that bubble, more or less, right? Which not a small bubble, but still you do that. When I started networking with intent, the moment I started up on this journey of entrepreneurship, I realized a couple of things. A, it's so easy to meet some amazing people. This region is has some amazing communities of entrepreneurs who are willing to support each other. Just by being authentic and finding a relevant connection. And it's not about what you can gain, but rather it's about how I view it is about how much you can give. So I think
Okay.
that networking helped open a lot of avenues and mindsets supporting each other, and what came out of that was I was grateful to see and humbled to see my recognition across all these circles once I started meeting people for the work that I had done. And what started happening is the SMEs and business owners started coming to me, asking for help to help set up their e commerce brands, to help launch and scale up the brands. And all this was happening without me doing any marketing push from my end. I still haven't done that push yet, but when people started coming in and when clients started coming in, it sort of added fuel to my purpose because I established Elevate Excellence with the purpose of, empowering people and organization. So that acted as a fuel, which was pivotal to me. And I think secondly would be change in mindsets across few different things. So I've always had, I think, an entrepreneurial mindset because I've set up business units in organizations, sometimes being the first one to start. So you
Mhm.
always have that ownership, fail fast, learn fast, the courage to chart on your, chart a new path, etc. But still, once I started entrepreneurship full time, something
Mhm.
as small as not viewing your week as a weekday and a weekend, it's as I would equate it to sun rising and sunset. It's written in stone. You can't change it, right? So, of course, week is weekday and a weekend. But what I realized was it's no more a weekday and a weekend for me. It's high energy zones. And I look at those energy zones, I give my 100%, get the best quality work, and I ferociously protect those energy zones because I need it, you know? So that I started seeing as a mindset shift. What I also started seeing is so if you've read Michelle Obama, I'm a huge fan of her and her books. She talks about a toolbox. She says, you have your toolbox, have your tools. set up for you to use in situations. So I'd like to say my top two tools are resilience and perseverance, which have helped me through personal professional journey so far. So that's helping me a lot on this journey. But what I realized is when I'm overusing a tool, I need to create a system to sort of refill it back. So what I did was, because when you're working in a corporate, you have affirmations coming in, you have acknowledgments coming in, right?
Yes.
Efforts are being recognized, but now you yourself, who's recognizing your effort? So I said, okay, I will recognize my own effort. So something, a small, again, yet massive change for me was every Saturday I've carved out a time where I look at my weekly, whatever I've done. I celebrate my weekly wins in whatever small or big way. And I'm amazed to see that till this time, the conversation, internal chatter goes from, yeah, I did a few things to, oh my God, you've done so much, you go girl, you know, and that's helped set up a system for me which encourages me. Uh, and last but not the least, you are the driver of your life, of course, but now in
Right.
entrepreneurship, uh, you are literally the driver of your vehicle. You decide the journey, the road, you decide the speed at which you will go, everything. So you can be your biggest motivator, your biggest detractor. So I use five things that set me up. Uh, and I think for anyone, these five things will set you up for your how your next month or next year will go. A,
Mhm.
your thoughts. I can't agree more. Thoughts manifest into reality. Your goals. What are the goals? Being clear about where do you want to go. Habits, because goals are nothing without actionable habits. Your
Right.
energy or your health, because this enables you to do everything else that I just mentioned about. And last is understanding, which I think is the least valued in terms of really understanding your customers, your clients, people around you, listening to them without any judgment attached, because that's when you'll be able to add more value.
Oh my God, Ishneet, you have literally gotten so much of what an entrepreneur or a founder or even a business owner right now needs to hear. From focusing on where your energies are to how much productivity it can get you in your week. So basically, your wherever your energy flows, your focus goes. That is what
Yeah,
the entire
yeah,
thing comes up to. And even having an entire retrospect to what you've done throughout the week is so important. It's so relevant. It's so
yeah,
required in a day-to-day on in a day-to-day basis and in our daily lives as entrepreneurs. So
yeah.
it's oh my god, there's so much that you have actually told us in this lecture. So I'm so glad.
Thank
So
you.
Ishneet, you have been a major major leader and a major idol in the entire e-commerce sector, specifically in the Fortune 500 companies. Of course, Johnson and Johnson's and Lenovo have a really big name. So I want to know how e-commerce has evolved significantly over the years. Like you working back then, you working now, and how should entrepreneurs actually approach this e-commerce sector or have maybe a supply chain management in today's landscape, considering the changes and advancements in what we are dealing with today?
I think very good question, because e-commerce is a very, very dynamic space, right? It's ever changing. So entrepreneurs need to be strategic, adaptable, and updated for sure. Now, a couple of things that are really important to consider. First, during pandemic, what we saw was everyone went to e-commerce digital. That became the buzzword. Rightly
Yes.
so, because there the consumers were there. But what happened is a lot of the brands failed to do what they tried to do during that time. Why? Because they did not have a clear vision, a clear strategy, and it can be a very good recipe for draining of your energy, money, and resources, because you're probably not putting attempt in the right direction. You're putting intermittent attempt. You're not getting a sustainable growth. So I think that is very important. Having a clear why is very, very important. Followed by the second is post pandemic. We see omni channel has become so important, because,
Yes.
especially in this region
Yes.
where everyone wants to. So it's important to create a seamless customer experience. How do I ensure that my customers are interacting with my brand In the same way, whether it's social media, the physical store, whether it's mobile app, website, you know, marrying them all beautifully together becomes very important. Uh, Third, I think, would be data analytics, right? Data is the gold, new
Yeah.
gold, as we say. And e-commerce and digital space allows you to access that data. So
Right.
using that data and understanding what to do with it, because too much of a data, you can have as much as data as you want, but if it's of no use if you're not utilizing it to improve your performance, make your why clearer, make your strategy clearer. uh, and I think one more important thing that's coming up these days is being environmentally and socially responsible. You know, consumer these days are very knowledgeable. They value all these things, and by being a brand who incorporates sustainable practices, not only are you doing your bit for the community and the world at large, but you also have sort of an edge with the consumers. And I think in the end, what I want to say is it's going to be, I'm going to go a bit in the reverse direction of automation because uh, everyone, I think, looking for the next big thing is exciting. Everyone wants to look for the next big thing. What is the new technological advancement? Which is
Yeah.
great. I'm saying innovation has its own place, but consistency has a very important place too. So,
Yes.
what I say is be so boringly consistent in the things that you do that you become so excellent, and then look for innovation and technologies to improve that efficiency. So I think that's something that we need to be mindful about.
Wow. That is like, I think, going to be a go to mantra for a lot of entrepreneurs and founders today, that the consistency is key. And then you move into efficiency and efficacy as a way
Yeah,
to grow and scale.
yeah.
Very nicely put, Ishneet. Superb, superb directions of what you are trying to give our entrepreneurs and founders and our viewers today on how much it is and how the evolvement has happened and post pandemic, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, what has been the change. Also, I would like to add this one thing that there are certain resources like now in our day-to-day lives and our day-to-day interactions with founders and business owners, we have resources that we actually rely upon or trust to get us
Hmm.
a certain kind of scalability. And knowing your resource or understanding the kind of market that they have catered to is very important as well. Because unless and until they have catered to your market as well and known a little more in and around the reach that you've had or the market reach that you're looking at, uh, the pivoting or the kind of output that you're looking for won't be there, and then they won't meet the expectations, and then again it's a ball rolling.
It's a
So
vicious circle. Yeah.
yeah, so one more thing that I my our listeners and our viewers, it's one more thing that's very important is that the resources that you want to rely upon and that you feel are trustworthy are some people that you need to do a background on and need to
Yeah.
understand the kind of market that they've catered to, so you have a
Yeah.
better output and you have a better outcome. Oh my god.
100%. Thank you, Karuna, for sharing it.
Very, very, very honored that you are thanking me for this.
Not at
So,
all.
so Shneed, if somebody actually wanted, like me, as a layman, as a dentist, I want to start like something as an e-commerce brand today. What key elements and strategies should I prioritize on, and for a successful launch, or have a soft launch or a normal launch, and also have a sustainable growth in this entire competitive market that we have right now.
Yeah, I think these days market is not only competitive, it's cluttered. So uh, there are so many brands coming up. So I think it's broadly very important to have a clear channel and brand strategy. It's important to have clear planning and perfect execution across a lot of different elements, you know elements which include like market research.
Mhm.
Not launching a brand without market research and is like going with closed eyes and hoping and
Right.
praying that everything will work well. So in market research, things like who is your target audience, what are
Mhm.
their pain points, what is the unique value proposition that you're giving, what is the gap that you're fulfilling, What are your competitors doing or not doing? So knowing everything is market research. So after firstly having a very competitive market research, a clear brand strategy, because we want to be seen as a strong and memorable brand. What is a
Mm.
story as a brand that we are trying to convey? That becomes very important. Then becomes your comprehensive business plan. If you want to launch it, where do we want to launch it? What will be my revenue sources? What will be my
Right.
expenses? What will be the target market? And after that, we come to channel strategy. Now, you're
Mhm.
launching in e-commerce, but it can mean a lot of things. It can mean, do you want to launch a direct D2C brand, which is a direct to consumer, your own website? Do you want to
Right.
launch on pure players? Do you want to launch on marketplace? Right? So answering these questions and understanding why each of these is important becomes crucial. And then having the fundamental, which I call for e-commerce scanner, search, content, assortment, navigation, reviews. There are different ways you sort this out, but it comes after having a clear channel strategy. Once you have the channel strategy, you have the marketing strategy, because you market on social media, you market for your own website, you market on the marketplaces. There are different strategies, but how do we make a plan which sort of marries them all beautifully together? Because in the end, your channel can be different, but you are one brand for the consumers. And then,
Exactly.
like, I cannot, emphasize enough on data. Use data as informed decisions. I've seen a lot of brands, they're doing a lot of activities, but the effort that goes into getting that activity out and
Mhm.
pushing it out versus effort into looking at the data is not
Mhm.
equal. But we need to give data a lot of importance. And last would be, I've seen brands, because at the end of the day, everyone says we are doing it for the money, right? Business is for the money. We're doing it for the finances. But there are people who get obsessed with either top line, which is your growth, and there are
Mhm.
people who get obsessed with the bottom line and they say day one profitability. None of this is good. It's
Mhm.
important to be aware of both, keep an eye on both, and be clear from the start, how will I reach this particular top line with this particular bottom line? So I think that's the way one can navigate launching a new business and sustainably growing it.
Nice, very nice. Ishneet, if you don't mind, I would want you to please elaborate more on the scanner abbreviation and tell like little more in detail. And viewers, please take this as your mantra to launch an e-commerce portal, because we are speaking to one of the top voices in the e-commerce portal. So please do take this into heed. So yes, Ishneet, please elaborate on the scanner aspect and tell us the abbreviation again.
Definitely. So scanner starts with S, search. Search is whenever you're searching on a marketplace, right? You search on Amazon, for example. You search a particular product. For example, you're looking for a nutritional product or whatever, a chocolate, let's say, not nutritional, very other example, but chocolate. Now, the
Okay.
moment you pop up the chocolate, you will have so many brands, but which are the top three brands? Have you
Mhm.
noticed that as a layman, you do not go two scrolls below? You
Mhm.
maximum scroll twice and you select your product.
Right.
So
Yes.
commanding that search is
Mhm.
extremely important, being clear on that search. And again, to command it, there are a lot of different elements which come together perfectly to be able for you to command that search. Then
Okay.
is your content. How is your
Mhm.
content? Is your content easily readable? Do you have A plus content? Is your shorts, do they the pack shots that you have, do
Mhm.
because a lot of time people just click a picture and upload it, people will not buy it. is
Yeah.
your is your content keyword inserted for it to be optimized? you know
Right.
that covers your content piece. The assortment, what is the assortment that you have? What are the product segments that you have? That's important to understand in the marketplace. Having too much or too less, uh, not good. So we need to
Mhm.
ideally get an assortment segment within, right?
Balance it out.
Then
Yeah. Mhm.
balance it out. Navigate. How do we navigate across that website? Is it easy for me to navigate, or is it becoming tough? If it's becoming tough, as a consumer, I'm going to opt out. Is it very intuitive, the navigation, right? And the last is reviews, because uh, who does not read reviews? User
Right.
generated content is very important. People
Yes.
rely on reviews, ratings, and reviews. So, knacking that piece is also important. So, when we do all of that, we get a good brand up.
Wow, that's like an amazing, amazing observation that I think all e-commerce platform to be e-commerce platform owners and e-commerce platform owners or marketplace owners need to know of how they need to scan, have their content ready, how to assort, how to navigate, and how to collect reviews as customer experience, because UX UI is very, very important on an e-commerce
Yeah.
portal. So yes, that is some very, very amazing insights. Thank you so much, Ishneet, for that. Ishneet, I also wanted to ask you now, since Chat GPT is like, this the big thing, the AI in the
Yeah.
market, it continues to evolve. Like we went from Chat GPT 1 to Chat GPT 3.5, that's free, and then Chat GPT 4, that's
Yeah.
paid. How would you envision its role in revolutionizing this entire e-commerce and digital marketing? And how can a business effectively integrate AI, or say an e-commerce integrate AI into their strategies and into their e-commerce portal?
Yeah, I think AI would be the word of the year because AI has
The
been
buzz.
used since last year. Yeah, used so much. It's definitely the word of the year. And I think businesses can use AI technologies to enhance experience across the consumer journey. So, for example, we take personalized customer experience.
Mhm.
You have AI recommendation engines which understand what the consumer wants, recommend them the right product with the logics inserted, right? Secondly, customer service AI using 24/7 AI chatbots that not only help with service part but help also in the purchase part of it. So you have an AI chatbot there ready to serve the consumers. Talking about a fraud detection and security domain, which is very, very important.
Right,
So AI actually understands how the transactions have happened, transaction patterns, different data points to not only detect but also prevent potential fraud that can happen on your website. Predictive analytics for inventory, something that's very important because the last thing any business owner wants is overstock or out of stock situation.
right.
Because out of stock, you're literally losing out in business in front of you. Overstock, eventually you will liquidate. It's
Yeah,
again the loss of money. So predictive analytics, using predictive analytics to AI, wherein you can understand the market demand, you can see how much inventory would be needed at what point of time. And
right.
I really think from a marketing perspective, I think there's a huge gap, and I foresee something coming up where an end-to-end AI-driven marketing platform, something which can streamline and automate digital marketing from content creation to paid ads to repurposing content and efficiently using it across different platforms. I think that will be something very, very interesting to see. And I hope it will come up. If not this year, next year, some forms of it will start showing an end-to-end marketing platform driven by AI.
Right. We are very happy to partner with one digital, uh, more of content creation and an AI generative AI platform called Simplify. They are one of our partners for this entire series of Founder,
Yeah.
and they are actually into this entire scheduling as well as generating AI and images and content for founders and entrepreneurs. So their journey as a solo entrepreneur becomes very easy and seamless. So
Yeah.
I'm very, very grateful that you brought up this point. Is very important for our founders also to know that yes, it is also a part of your journey when marketing comes in. Content creation is a major part of the journey where you have
Yep.
engagement, and Simplified is one of our partners which helps entrepreneurs and business makers, business owners, and founders make it a simple, seamless journey for them.
Yeah.
Ishneet, I have this really, really big awe aspect for you because you are one of the top voices in the hyper growth segment as well. So I have
Thank you,
this
Kevin.
this offer, how is it that you do all of this, like given your expertise in setting up these brands for hypergrowth, how do you leverage all of the business aspects and the scaling of how it is done? Also, for our viewers who don't know what hypergrowth is basically rapidly expanding the company into the market, more than a 40% of CAGR, that is your compound annual growth
Growth
rate.
rate.
So that is basically how quickly Ishneet scales a company or an e-commerce platform. So Ishneet, big awe, and a lot of respect. Please enlighten us.
Thank you. I think, like I said, knowing the clear vision is very, very important. Why do you want to do it? So I sit with founders, I sit with SMEs, sit with business owners to understand what they want to do, why they want to do. Talked about the channel, the marketing strategy. We work on it. Completely look at the financial aspects. I think it's important because when I've set up brands for hypergrowth, having a tight control on the PNL is also very important, but having the right vision and mindset. Like I want to plan 2 years from now, but I also want to keep an eye on the next month. That's how you scale, you pivot, you learn fast, you fail fast. And then, of course, there are many technologies that are available these days, abundant technologies. And in fact, every day something new is coming up. The technologies are there, you have the tools, but knowing, do you really want to use and which technology and tool do you want to use? Because that's how efficiency and scalability comes in. So
Right.
I work to understand for that particular business, what is the challenge that they are facing, right? Which can be solved through with or without technology. We'll come to it, but what is the challenge, right?
Mhm.
What is their goal? Where do we want to go? And what are the opportunities? Maybe there are opportunities ahead they haven't seen, the opportunities that we need to tap into. And then we
Mhm.
see how can we plug that in with the right technologies, right? Then comparing it is that scalability. Do I want to solve for scalability? Do I
Mhm.
want to solve for simplicity? Do I want to solve for customization?
Mhm.
How will this technology integrate into my existing systems? Once you answer all of these questions, you get to the answer of where potentially I want to head to, what are the technologies I want to plug in, and the last is the cost benefit analysis. Like I said, financial aspects is extremely important. So while I focus on marketing, e-commerce growth, everything a lot with financial
Mhm.
aspect. What is the cost to it? Sometimes there's a high upfront cost, sometimes the low barrier to entry. You have monthly smaller cost, but
Yes.
what is the benefit? Because there is a cost saving, there is an efficiency, there is a revenue optic, something is there. So I think understanding that, looking at the cost, and then taking the right decision. I think it's a mix of all of different things. And like I said, being boringly consistent, be excellently well in what you do, and
Yes.
doing all these different elements together really well, putting it together really well, so that it becomes a well oiled machine, so to say.
That's amazing. I completely agree that it is very important to also see how your budgets are, where they fit, and
Yeah.
then in accordance to that, scaling and understanding, what is your go-to-market strategy, how much you can actually build in and then scale out is important. So, Ishni, thank you so much. There are so many insightful aspects that you've given us throughout this entire life, from knowing the productive hours of your week on energy, and knowing when you are high on energy and low on energy, and then starting to work, and the scanner aspect. There is like so much to learn from this one life. For our viewers, please do take into consideration, if you all are opening an e-commerce marketplace or are into an e-commerce marketplace, Ishneet is our go-to. So please do consider having her as an advisor or as a consultant, because I'm sure she will add a lot of more to your entire brand and to the entire company. Thank you so much, Ishneet, for being
Thank
with
you,
us.
Karna. Thank you. And I would love to, I've realized I started Elevate Excellence with an, aim to empower people and organizations. And this gives me an ability to do that. So I would love to connect with the audience and love to discuss this more with them.
Definitely. I am definitely connecting with you soon. I want to launch a digital e-commerce. I'm going to connect with you soon. But everyone
Definitely that.
in the omnipresent market right now, the retail channels that you're having and the kind of supply chain that you're having, I'm sure she's going to be a complete different a complete enlightenment to whatever you all have in your minds, and perspectives changes do help growth and scale. So please do consider contacting Ishneet and getting some insights from her. Thank you so much, Ishneet, for being here and taking out some time for us.
Thank you so much, Karuna, for having me. I had a blast having this conversation with you.
Yeah, same here. I had a blast as well. Thank you. Have a great evening. Bye.
You too. Wishing the well to all the viewers. Bye.
Knowledge, network, and capital